Welcome back from that break. And if you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Abuja, reaching you from the studios of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Channel 5, Abuja. And recognizing the emotions and moods of your subordinates as a leader enhances productivity. And that's why today we'll be looking at emotional intelligence and compassionate leadership. We have an emotional intelligence coach here in person of Bello Musa Sodium. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Abuja.
Good morning.
Good morning. Compliment of the season.
Compliment of the season.
Emotional intelligence and leadership. How does it relate together?
This is a brilliant question, and thank you for asking me. You see, emotional intelligence encompasses everything about relationship with other people.
Okay.
And that's what leadership is all about, influencing others.
Okay.
But how do you influence others if you don't influence yourself?
Okay.
That's not possible.
Okay.
So for you to influence, that means you must tap into the emotions of others to make them act.
Okay.
You will realize that certain days you are so productive, and some days you are not as productive as the other day. The only difference is emotion, as long as you are physically healthy.
Okay.
That is the only missing link.
Okay.
So if a leader can understand emotions to a large extent, he will be able to move his people to be as productive as he wants, he or she wants.
Okay.
So leadership is all about influence, and emotion is the driving force of influence.
Okay.
For influencing
Okay.
people.
Productivity.
Yes.
All right.
So, could you elaborate on the core principles of emotional intelligence and how they can directly, relate to the effective leadership?
Emotional intelligence is you understanding your emotions
Yeah.
and managing it, and your ability to also understand others' emotions and manage them effectively. So, with that definition, that means we have four cardinal aspects. Under emotional intelligence, we have self-awareness, self-management, self-awareness, and relationship management. So, but before you can even lead others, you have to understand your emotions.
That's a self-awareness.
Exactly. And I always tell people that is the foundation.
Okay.
You can't give what you don't have. If I don't understand my emotion, how do I expect to understand yours?
Okay.
So if I don't understand that sadness is real to me, when you are feeling sad, I will think you just want to be moody at work, or you are not just happy to be working.
Okay. Okay.
But if I get to that level of awareness, I will now be able to tap into your emotion. That's where empathy comes in. Yes. And we have a saying in emotional intelligence: emotions drive people, people drive performance.
Okay.
So if we understand that core principle, then leadership will now come in a way that, okay, I am coming in, I know that my energy is contagious, and that is still emotion. When I came in this morning, if I had just showed up in a very moody way, is it the emotions coach that wants to come and speak with us? You know,
on emotion. Yes.
on emotions.
Yes.
I don't think he can share anything meaningful just by my presence.
Yes.
So leaders need to be aware. And that doesn't mean that a leader too cannot have his own down moment. But a leader will show up in a way and say, today, this is how I am feeling. However, we are here to do the work.
Okay.
So a leader must be willing to be vulnerable, and that's the difficult part. That's why you will see that a leader will prefer to show that I'm a boss.
I'm a boss.
Nothing can break me. You know, do all the hard stuff and all of that. But in the end, we are not tapping and connecting with others, because shared humanity is what makes influence easier.
I'm now coming back to the subordinates. Well, a leader is biased and not balanced. He has someone he favors than the other. How do you think this will not affect the emotion of the subordinate not to give his best in the workplace?
Like I always say, I say the best test to your emotional intelligence is when you are interacting with people that are not as aware as you are emotionally.
Okay.
That is your biggest test.
Okay.
So when you arrive at that kind of situation, the next thing is for you to acknowledge your emotion.
Okay.
I'm not feeling appreciated. Yes. You acknowledge it. You are not denying the fact.
Okay.
So you now ask yourself, what am I going to do? that is now the point where you now become the leader you wish you had
Okay.
to your own subordinates,
Subordinates.
because
Okay.
everybody has somebody or she's leading.
Yes.
So
Okay.
the moment you are practicing that, you are giving yourself that sense of responsibility, that you are practicing what you believe in.
Okay.
At the same time, if there's an avenue for you to maybe share with somebody that you know your leader listens to, or if there's an avenue for you to just say, our leader does this kind of, I know it can be tricky in some organizations, I agree. But if that is not possible, then you just sit back, understand that, okay, there's some form of politics going on here, and it's not favoring me. Accept it.
Okay.
Then show up the best way. I tell people, when you are working, is a worship to your creator. It's a form of worship. So when you are looking at it from that higher dimension, whatever your boss is doing, you are seeing it as an opportunity for you to learn to even deal with other form of personality and behavior. It's difficult, but it's possible to manage
it and get productivity. It will affect your work.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because you are aware.
Because a lot of us get destabilized with that,
Yes.
that you don't want to, your determination, it's gone.
Yes.
You don't even have the zeal to work anymore, because no matter what you do, it's not appreciated by the boss, because you have someone who is not doing as much as you're doing, but they are being appreciated and commended. So that affects your productivity.
You see, in the workplace, I tell people workplace is a very special place where you meet all forms of creatures. Different types of character. So the question I will ask somebody in that situation is, what are you pretending not to know? Are you pretending not to know that you will meet this kind of person?
Okay.
So when you meet such situation, and sometimes if you look at it, is a seasonal period. For instance, maybe if it's a government setting, transfer can happen. So you are looking at it that this thing has.
No, I like the word that you said. It's a
It's a seasonal thing.
Yeah, it comes and
It comes and goes.
everyone comes with his own.
Exactly. Different bosses with their own style.
Yes.
So you're like, okay, this is the boss that I have right now. How
But
can
the
I
problem
manage
is you
this
don't know how
situation?
long you'll be there.
You don't know how long.
So that
Yes,
affects you.
Affects you totally.
But then can you share, an experience or what you've witnessed with emotional intelligence transforming leadership approaches, organizational cultures, that it affects that organizational culture, just like what we're discussing right now. But then is there something you've witnessed on your own part?
All right. Personally,
Yeah, personally.
I will use when I was teaching. As a case study. When you are teaching, you are dealing with different types of students.
Okay.
And I looked at myself, I said, how can I best influence my students to at least get the best out of them? I remember I was teaching GS3 back then. And I noticed that certain students were not too good in mathematics, and all. I was taking them mathematics. So I decided to be interested in what they have passion for.
All right.
Like there was a particular girl then, she was so good with art. So I took interest. I even bought her drawing book.
Okay.
Guess what? This student got the highest mark she could have ever imagined in mathematics. So what that is telling us is, when you are interested in people, they will go the extra mile for you.
Yes.
If you care. But most times we are looking at it that me. When you care and show genuine intention. So when I just showed the lady that, okay, you are good at this, I care about this, she developed interest. Exactly. And the best way to model any behavior is to first model it, that you show it, that you are doing it, not just talking. Then the next thing is you celebrate it anytime people practice such behavior. For instance, if you model honesty and somebody in the workplace practice honesty, maybe saw money on the ground, say, I took something on the ground. You call everybody at the office, let's celebrate this person for his or her honesty.
So everybody want to be honest.
Everybody want to be honest. Then the next thing is create an enabling environment.
Okay.
So that when people make mistake, they can own up to their mistakes and say, I made a mistake here. Please, how can you
That
That's
is one of
interesting.
the most difficult things.
It is very, owning up to
Yes.
your mistakes.
I did this and I'm wrong.
I'm wrong. Accept it and let it go.
It's because we always shame people for their wrong.
Yes.
No one is perfect.
Okay.
In the workplace, most of the safety hazards that occur wouldn't have happened if people can be allowed to accept their mistakes. Sometimes you are not even sure of what the boss is telling you to do, but you are scared of telling him that, please, I need help here. Because you don't want to feel incompetent. Sometimes we need help.
And I think one of the problems we have at workplaces is when, okay, I don't know how to do this, and I need help with it. But then when behind your back and you find out that, okay,
Those small
something for discussion between your colleagues, you just have to hide.
But that is affecting our productivity.
Exactly.
We tend to criticize and not critique people. When you criticize, you just go to the bad aspect. But when you critique people, you're telling them the good aspect they have and what they need to do
And
better.
now you can also help them.
That's the problem we're having.
Sometimes people have idea about that.
Yes.
About their
But they are not given opportunity
they are
to
not
do
given
that.
opportunity. Even when we were, growing because
up.
everybody started from maybe level 1 or
Yes.
level 7. And the kind of bosses we had did not give us such opportunity. So we are looking at it that, let me get
there.
I will deal with these people.
Okay.
And
That's always the case.
When they get there, they want to.
Pain will do two things. Either make you to show empathy or to make you to transfer pain. So if you don't, because it's when I've felt something before, I can understand the kind of pain you experience.
Yes, that's when you understand how it is.
People that have experienced similar pain as you are, they are worse. They attack you more. I always give one popular scenario. I say nurses, and I'm not generalizing.
Yes.
I say nurses are mothers.
Yes.
But go to general hospital. You see how nurses shout at their fellow women.
Patients are
You know how this feels.
Definitely.
And you are acting like this. Yes. So it means that, one, you are not practicing the profession with empathy. And how do you practice nursing without empathy?
And they cannot manage duress as in stress.
Exactly. I know there are some criteria that make you show less empathy. I was talking to a doctor friend. I was like, are you aware of empathy fatigue? He said, no, he has not heard of that before.
Okay.
I said, that's possible. Because as a caregiver, as I am, sometimes we suffer from empathy fatigue because you need to get into the emotions of your client or your students or your, partner, as the case may be. And sometimes it can be draining. Empathy is work. That's why many people will rather not give room for it. Hey, I don't want those stories.
Just go.
Imagine you talking to your boss and your boss is like, hey, just drop it on the table, you can go. You don't feel seen.
At all.
You don't feel appreciated. You don't feel heard. But if you step into the office and your boss says, hello, how are you? Or maybe your boss just noticed that maybe you change your hairstyle. Yeah, a guy. You say, you had a clean haircut. Something like
that encourages you.
My boss saw me. The way you do work that day will be different. And you won't know that it's just your boss just giving simple compliment that changes the whole situation.
Why we can? But before you go, finally, I want you to tell a leader and a subordinate, how do you need to acquire emotional intelligence?
Okay. Emotional intelligence, of course, there are diverse materials online. So I tell people, just start wherever you are. If it's an article you can pick up, because the main thing with learning is be curious.
Yes.
If you are curious about something, you will start to learn. So if it's YouTube videos, you can lay your hands on. If it's podcast, and if it's free seminars, if you say you don't want to invest yet. But when you want to really invest, because emotional intelligence will improve your well-being, it will improve your performance, and it will help you build thriving relationships. I tell people, crude oil is not the money. Relationship is the new money. What got me on stage as I am right here is relationship. So whether we like it or not, we need to improve on our emotional intelligence and not say, it's because you did it to me, that's why I'm reacting like this. we need to move from reacting to responding to situations. So we need to pick up from whatever we can do, start from books, anything. Then as you go on, you may decide to have an emotional intelligence coach to give a personalized coaching experience. Where, because sometimes books can give you, all the theory, but
yes.
you may have areas where, because a coach will give you a test so that we know your area of weaknesses and how to build up.
Thank you for this educative discussion,
You're welcome.
and I hope our viewer at home have learnt a lot from you.
No, I have.
You have.
This is something that touches everyone.
Definitely, yeah, it
Thank you so
touches
much for
everyone.
coming on the program.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, interesting. Well, we've been speaking to the emotional intelligence coach, Musa Bello Sodium, and we've been talking about emotional intelligence. It affects your productivity in the workplace. And as a leader, you should understand your subordinates and, know who you are
Exactly.
because you can't give what you don't have.